What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the EU4 Super States AI only battle. About to hit 1750, which suggests there's probably about 6 or 7, probably 7, because every episode we get for about 8 years, I think. It depends what's going on. Sometimes it's between 7 and like 10 years if nothing happens. But yeah, we're about 6 or 7 or 8 maybe episodes from the end if we like counter in all the extra years. Actually, probably more than that because it's 1821. So yeah, we're getting close though. This will probably become the longest series on the channel, going over the, well, it depends how you look at it, because the EU4 England series, the episodes were 20 minutes long, so I guess that would technically be longer than this. Obviously this, for the most part, at the start I wasn't, but for the last quite a while we've just been running at speed 5 fine, so, you know, we'll keep doing that. I don't even know if it's actually going at speed 5, I mean, it goes pretty quick, so I'm gonna assume it does, but yeah, there's no wars going on at the moment that I'm even looking at. I don't even know if, like, I imagine it does have an impact, like whether I look over at Europe where they are going on or just stare here even though they're going on. I imagine it has some small impacts, not the biggest. So Britain is at war. There we go, just press play in the background. Britain is at war with Castile. Puerto Rico is in that, to be fair, and Yucatan, so there are states involved technically. Perm is at war with Crimea and Muscovy. France is at war with its friends against Aragon and Austria, and they didn't call in Hungary. How did Hungary do? They're in some big wars. I don't know. I couldn't really tell if much has changed. What percent would it take to take everything from Hungary? We're looking at some of the states, 956%. Okay, what about France? 700%. They do have a lot of colonies. Yeah, Britain 800%. What about the Ottomans? I bet that's going to be high. Oh wow, just under 2,000%. So the Ottomans are pretty safe. At the moment there is a big war. Oh my goodness. Texas, Sonora, New York, Wyoming against Missouri, and Cascadia decided to join in. So here we go. I mean, there is no border between New York and Cascadia, but I imagine they will get over here. Cascadia is going to have a tough time here, but New York obviously did just get out of that war, as did Texas with Florida. So maybe they'll be a bit low on manpower, maybe they'll be a bit struggling, but saying that, it's been 2 years since the start of the episode, so like we are going very fast. I imagine they're not struggling that much, but Missouri, I mean, the thing is, Texas will probably take Missouri here. The question is whether Cascadia are going to do the stupid thing again, or are they going to be smart? And obviously Sonora doesn't help either. But if Cascadia let all their men die again by being stupid, then and New York's already here. Be careful. Oh, yep, you're going to lose. Cascadia is dead. They're not doing this right. Whatever. The AI over there is just not doing well. And yeah, you are going to lose Cascadia. And this probably cements New York's win, I think, because 23 war score already. I know that's mainly for Missouri being occupied, but Cascadia is going to lose. Like, I've already seen. Like, I can tell they have a 40 stack here and a 40 stack here. The other one's just chilling at the back. New York already, yeah, there's already 100 and, wow, there's a lot of men here. I don't even want to do the maths. If you include that other 80 stack from New York, there is a ridiculous amount of troops here. Meanwhile, they're also attacking from the south. There's no way Cascadia can hold this off. So it's just basically, I imagine taking Missouri as well isn't going to cost much war score. So this time, Cascadia at 62%, so they can do some damage to Cascadia as well. Probably see some more states released again. Could you imagine you could force them to release California? I don't think that would work, but that would be incredible if that happened. It'd be very interesting. Guaranteeing the independence of Manitoba. It's probably not the best idea. But yeah, 28 war score right now. What's this war? Hungary, Scandinavia, Tuscany. There's some random stuff going on in Europe. Mongyang. I have no idea who they are. Let's just ignore that, or where they are for that matter. It's not going. Oh look, Yucatan did manage to conquer all of the Caribbean from Castile. It's the end of that war. So Cuba currently controlled by Yucatan. They're doing okay down here. I mean, obviously the fact that their sort of fate is controlled by whether Texas decides to do anything to them is a problem. But you know, at least they're trying their hardest. They're making the most of the situation. These natives survived. I thought Britain was crushing them, but apparently not. And Floridian Brazil, sort of at maximum size. They can't really colonize anymore. Who is this? All Timbuktu land? Oh, that's pretty cool. But not that. That's Castile's. It's the same color. I was going to check. I was like, there's no way that's Florida. But it was worth a look. I don't think any of this is Florida. No, it's not. Oh. But Floridian Brazil is pretty cool. I don't know how long it lost. They only have an 11 stacks. They can't even beat the natives that have sort of conquered this region somehow. So I don't think they'll be here for much longer. Okay, so 55 war score now, and I can just sense that Cascadia is not having a good time. You can see there's so many men down here. There's so many from New York up here as well. This is, like I said, this is probably gonna. It's not, New York probably won't gain anything from this, but it's probably gonna knock down Cascadia just enough that they will seal the victory in this campaign, unless something crazy happens. I said last video, I think Cascadia and Florida would need to become an ally somehow, because at the moment that Texas-New York alliance is going to be difficult to stop, and even then I wouldn't expect Florida and Cascadia being 4th and 7th to challenge 2nd and 5th. It would be very tough. Like, they'd have to do more than that somehow. I don't know what else they could do. Maybe a strong European, but then that's not going to really help. New York have France. New York are in a strong position. That's all I'm going to say. Who is it? Wait, occupied by Texas is getting everything. Okay, Wyoming got a little bit. I mean, and Cascadia did just destroy a few thousand men of Sonoras, but that's not going to help. And Texas has already got all of Baja California occupied down here. They've got 100,000 men right there. New York have been driven back, to be fair. New York seems to have died. I mean, their stacks have all returned to New York. Although they're heading out again. They're brave. They got sent packing and they're moving in again. I think New York must have taken this land, actually. I said last episode that maybe it got released for some stupid reason. I think New York must have taken some as well. To, like, divide Indiana up like this. 'Cause, yeah, I think they were a bit bigger, so that's probably more an explanation of what happened there. And sorry if anyone got mad at me. I imagine probably did. But you guys are nice, actually. You don't tend to comment when I make mistakes, which is good. I mean, I think, anyway. Either that or we all just don't notice them collectively, which is probably a good thing. Okay, 77 war score now. It doesn't matter whether Cascadia has cleared them up here, and they haven't really. There's still a 30 stack. Still, if you get together this 80 stack, you fight that 30 stack, you're not going to win. There's still 100,000 men here, plus 30,000 from Wyoming. There's the peace deal. Texas grabbed some of Baja California. I don't think anything was lost. I think Saskatchewan actually just got another row of provinces here, but I might be wrong. Again, I'm so sorry if I'm wrong. But I think they might have just been given another row, because they're twice as thick now. That's the best way to describe it, and I think that's it. And Missouri only lost one province after all of that. But, yeah, nothing big, too big change. Oh no, Texas is over. Oh, Cascadia just fell to 7th. They must have lost a lot. How have I not known? Yeah, they must have lost a bit here. Maybe Wyoming took some stuff actually as well over here. Yeah, Cascadia seems to have lost a bit, because they've fallen below Florida now. They were doing so well, and I mean, it's incredible they did this well, because there was a point when California looked awful. It looked like they were going to die. Like Nevada were probably a couple of good decisions away from destroying California, and obviously they came back to do this, but they're not going to last well, they're probably going to, I don't see them disappearing, but they're starting to fade a little bit. 2 bad wars against Texas, who seem to be doing very well. I mean, I would love to see where we'd be if Texas hadn't have had that first 10 episodes of just being awful and not doing anything. If Texas had been going at it from the start, where would they be right now? I know I'm going to be annoying so many people rooting for Texas to win when I say this, because there was a lot of people moaning at Texas. Have we got any other wars? Oh, Florida's in a war, and yep, it is with those Brazilian natives. It's them and Great Britain. Florida declared this time, so maybe Floridian Brazil will grow. Obviously, it does depend on Florida sending its actual army here. And yeah, there's a 40 stack, and they're chasing down the natives. And I believe the natives are probably... Oh no, they're the same tech level. And Florida just won that battle. Just. Oh, they have another 20 stack though. Okay, well, Florida should expand Floridian Brazil then. That's set in stone. Should be an easy victory for them. Malaya. Wait, Malaya. They sound like the sort of thing that's big. Oh, yep, they are quite big. Not huge, but this is a pretty cool country right here. I like this. Let's have a quick look at how much of the map. Usually, I know they get formed quite a bit by Indonesia if you do like a modern day sort of start thing. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Seeing Malaya form. They don't seem to be a colony or anything. They're independent, so they can do what they want. Not sure how well that will go for them though. A lot of this is once they take out maybe the... I don't want to call them natives, but you know, the people that live here, and then the locals. That's what it will be. And obviously, then they'll have to deal with the French. Victoria, by the way, Still yet to form Australia. I imagine they just have to take Tasmania, but they don't want to do that, so, you know, they can live in peace. So what does it matter? But these guys, now, their enemy is Malaya, and their rival is France. I imagine that is because French New Zealand is right there. But let's see, any new wars? Nope, Florida has only got 2 war scores so far. I don't know how that's possible. But they probably just have been occupying and not sieging the... Oh, and there's a big... Oh, and it's because Floridian Brazil keeps dying, and Florida has to stop what it's doing to go save them, basically. France are at war with Britain again. Seriously, guys, you just can't stop going to war with each other. It's unbelievable. District of Columbia is still right. Oh, there is a war, and New York is in it. Apparently. Where's... Oh, the French... Oh, the French called in New York against Great Britain. Interesting, which could put New York against Florida again at some point, because Florida is allied to Britain, and obviously New York is allied to France. But yes, Britain have a 46 stack in New York. This is a new kind of test for New York. Let's see. See how this goes. I mean, I doubt there'll be any more British troops arriving. It wouldn't be the smartest move. Oh, there's a 14 stack here from British Columbia. Not the British Columbia, but British Columbia down here, which is the smallest of Britain's colonies by the look of it. But, you know, they're that small, and they have a bigger army than Floridian Brazil. Just imagine that. But, oh, they're just ignoring the 46 stack for now to go and undo this, but they do have a 78. Did that war just end? No. There's so many big... It's just like, all these wars are almost so... Like, this war's interesting. It's 4v, like, 5, 6 even. Oh my goodness, 4v6. But, like, these two, it's just like 7 or 8. 8, 6, 7 there versus 1 versus 2, 5v1 here. They're not very fair. Aragon Imperialist War. Oh, Yarkand is about to beat the Timurids. They have 99 war scores, so let's go try and catch... Oh, I think it ended. Yep, they took some stuff over here probably. I was going to try and see it, because like, I imagine the Timurids won't like losing. So Britain's at war with Aragon as well. Like, Britain are in a lot of wars right now. I just want to... I know, again, they're not a state, but it has been a very interesting world. This is what Britain's up against right now. They've got Florida. Obviously, this isn't... That makes it look like Florida's at war in New York. They're not, but... You know, for Britain's perspective, it looks kind of cool that the map is pretty global. It's not quite the greatest empire we've ever seen. I remember when Great Brazil was here, and Giant, and Great Canada. What a game that was. See, if you remember that, you're awesome. If you remember that. Basically, if you don't remember it, you're still awesome. But I would highly recommend going checking it out, of course. Why wouldn't I? So Britain is still alive here. New York haven't dealt with them. They're probably getting ready to send these ships somewhere else. Send these ships? Put these men on ships maybe and go to the UK. That would be a... But the UK Navy's here. And if there's one navy that can stop the... Oh, given to Provence. If there's one navy... Okay, Britain just won that battle. Could you imagine if New York got, like, absolutely smashed into the ground by Britain? And that was the thing that changed the game. And at that point, it would be handed to Texas to lead. Yep, New York has fell below Britain, in all fairness to them. So you never know. Cascadia has dropped to 8th now. It is tragic. I thought they'd be taking out their rage on Alaska at this point, but they don't want to do that. Oh, if Saskatchewan declared this war... Oh my goodness. Is it? No, Cascadia called in Wisconsin. Okay, they fight against Saskatchewan. Okay, they've given up. Saskatchewan and Manitoba. They've had some... I mean, not so much Saskatchewan, but Manitoba and Cascadia have been chill for a while, but not anymore. Cascadia calls in Wisconsin. And that's probably a good idea. I mean, Cascadia, I believe, is one of the main reasons Wisconsin died. I mean, obviously New York, Florida, and Texas all played a part, but Cascadia put some of the finishing touches, especially for Manitoba, to look like this. So if you want to stop Manitoba, the one person to think about would have been Wisconsin. Very much logic to that. And I imagine Cascadia is venting their anger for some defeats there. Is there anything else going on? There's a Yucatan war. Not that that particularly matters. And Texas is in a war with somebody. The Zacatecas, not Yucatan. Let's go have a look at how that's going for Texas. That's these orange guys here. And yeah, Texas should expand even more into Mexico. So that'll be interesting. No need to build a wall. I mean, it would be cheaper to build it here, wouldn't it? That's the idea. It would be like, if thinking about it logically, building it here is a lot cheaper than building it here. See? Just think about it that way. Texas are doing in advance what they will need to do in like 300 years' time. A bit less than 300 years' time. Okay, so they're still doing okay. I think New York, there's still a 60 stack from Britain, and New York, who have got a 78 stack, suffering a ton of attrition. They just can't be asked to go deal with it right now. I don't really know what the point of that is. I think they're waiting for this 14 stack. I don't know, they're doing something stupid. But that is going to be it for this episode. As always, if you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Be sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.